Cleveland is a historical place teeming with people of various cultures and backgrounds. So to me, civil rights are a unifying factor. It gives us a common ground in an otherwise diverse community. As a Clevelander, I am proud the city has established itself as a haven for all.
Civil rights means that I can go where I choose, I can study where I want, and I can be who I want to be, and be free.
As a biracial person, civil rights protects me and other diverse people in Cleveland from discrimination.
Because of the extraordinary courage of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, his family, and supporters, I have the courage of my convictions to practice the religion of my choice.
Civil rights is simply reassurance that anything is possible, and as individuals, we make the conscious decision based on what's in our hearts. As a Clevelander, anything is within my reach.
I think that civil rights is not just fighting for equality for one race. I think that civil rights is fighting for equality for every race, no matter the race, gender, or sexual orientation. And I believe that everyone should have equal rights to be what they want to be.
As a young black man, Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement represents the framework by which we can go about rectifying injustices throughout the world.
When I thought about what civil rights means to me as a Clevelander, what kept coming to my mind was being thankful. And I say being thankful because I am extremely thankful for what my great-grandparents and ancestors had to face, from brutality to harsh discrimination, so I could live a life of equality.
Thanks to Dr. Martin Luther King's efforts, many laws have been created and changed, but many of the people's mindsets haven't. If everyone can change their hearts, race, segregation, intersexuality, and everything that makes a person different from one another would no longer be an issue.
Civil rights to me means equality, liberty, and success.
Civil rights is the dream of King. Unfortunately, in 2014, 46 years after the civil rights movement, it's still a dream for some. But with the efforts of some courageous individuals who stand against injustice, the dream is still alive.
As Clevelanders, we have to remember that the Civil Rights Act has been in place for several decades. Our generation needs to do all it can to protect our liberties to help shape our community for a better tomorrow.
When I think about civil rights in the 21st century as a woman, I have to give tribute to the ancestors and my fellow leaders before me, because they have paved a road for me to walk on to achieve greater equality.
When I think about civil rights, I think about how unfair it is that my 3 African-American grandchildren need to be taught how to specifically interact with society in order to not be shot or injured, yet I don't have that same worry. I think about all the hard work that went into ensuring that we all have equal civil rights, but how it is still such an issue for so many.
Civil rights means that I'm obligated to fight an unfair fight for my basic human rights against a system that has been carefully crafted specifically to exclude and oppress me because of the color of my skin.
Civil rights are about being a person. Despite race, gender, or belief, we are all the same. The civil rights movement never stopped, it only progressed. We are a long way from the Huff riots, but we are still so close to so much hate, anger, and pain. Civil rights are not a privilege. It is a demand that every person's life places on the world, and it must be met.
Civil rights mean a lot to me as a woman, person of color, a mother, and as a human. Civil rights are defined by their immunity to suppression. Yeah, I still live in a Cleveland where almost 50 years post-Huff riots, people face discrimination based on defining elements of their humanity. But I believe that we as Clevelanders can change this by becoming the place where civil rights withstood and overcame ignorance.
Civil rights to me isn't built into laws or policies. It's in the atmosphere and evident in the community. You see, when freedom is built into a culture, it becomes a way of life. Only through the people's influence and engagement can that way of life be sustained.
I see civil rights as a stamp that says we as a people are free. A stamp that gives African Americans of this city a remembrance of the people and events that came before them, such as the Huff riots that happened on the streets of this city in this noble state of what we know to be the greatest country in the world. Civil rights means that Martin Luther King did not have his dream in vain, and it gives this generation and generations to come a reason to continue to dream.
Civil rights means equality for citizens, overcoming future obstacles and never forgetting the things we have already overcome. Also making sure that everyone knows the value of voting because it is the follow-up to greater progress for the future.
As a Nigerian living in Cleveland today, I have been exposed to many opportunities academically, socially, and professionally. Cleveland has given me the tools to reach for my dreams, to achieve success, and to do so without compromising who I am. So civil rights to me is giving all people that same opportunity to be who they are, to dream, and to achieve success, regardless of their race, gender, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, or religion.
I think about civil rights as an opportunity to right a wrong. Civil rights at its root is a human rights issue. It shouldn't take a lot of effort or a lot of legislation for people to be civilized. If we consider that the humans and the individuals that are involved in these larger groups within our community, then it would be a greater community. Don't we deserve a greater community?
Civil rights means the assurance that every person is treated with the equality and respect that they deserve as a member of the human race. A person's age, color, race, national origin, religion, gender, ability, sexual orientation, or gender identity does not justify mistreatment.
Civil rights to me means that I don't have to worry about my 3 sons when they leave our home and go out into the world. It means being treated with respect and with dignity no matter where I go. It means being able to live with my neighbor, no matter their color, no matter their race, and live in peace and harmony. Civil rights, for one, is civil rights for all. If any one of us is denied our civil rights, then we are all being treated with incivility.